Do you think that we are wired to think simply, or is it because like we have these like sort of flat mediums like television that enforces that sort of
I think
like
it's a bit of a feedback loop. You know, I think there's certainly a part of my brain, a part of everybody's brain that has weird reflexes. But, you know, we have a frontal cortex, and, you know, we read, and, you know, we have our own experiences that run counter to whatever weird instincts we have from our hunter-gatherer, you know, remnants in our DNA. And, you know, it just doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's just that I think that, you know, when you're mass-producing stuff and it's got to be done several times and you've got to sell it to advertisers, there's so many stakeholders. I mean, one of the problems with TV, frankly, is that the clients are not the audience, they're the advertisers. The audience are actually part of what's sold to the advertisers. And that's why most of TV looks the way it does. There are glaring exceptions to it nowadays, thank God, you know, just because I think episodic television got so bad. You know, things like Mad Men had to be invented, you know, things like Breaking Bad had to be invented because it was just such a dearth of good material that someone had to challenge and upset things. I mean, The Wire was a great series that sort of really delved into really a deconstruction of what a cop show is in a weird way. And you know, if Marley has fellow travelers, it's the characters in shows like that, or you know, or some of the other stuff, you know, happening in comics now that's, you know, a little more complicated. You know, Neil Gaiman has, you know, been writing all this stuff that sort of deals with sort of misbegotten people and alien races, you know, and things like that.
So where do you get a lot of your inspiration from, aside from Neil Gaiman or like Tolkien or someone like that? Like, where are you drawing this from?
For me, Marley was in the beginning very much just a response to that stuff. You know, I just couldn't stand it anymore. I got tired of reading the same sort of conflict played over, just dressed up with different characters over and over again. And again, I just think it's something that it's a cultural problem. It's not just like, oh wow, our entertainment sucks, it's really flat and whatever. It actually reflects a kind of thinking that we have that's very destructive to us long term. It's destructive to the potential of our culture and society, because it doesn't allow us to see people beyond a certain point, beyond their utility or beyond their assigned danger. And I wanted to do that through the eyes of a hero who, you know, one of the other big tropes in entertainment, whether it's comics or whether it's television, generally the main character doesn't change much at all, and it's the people around him who, like, you know, their parents die, all sorts of catastrophic stuff happen to them, and that character more or less stays the same as a sort of anchor point, whether it's a sitcom, whether it's a superhero comic, you know, whatever. And that's the thing I wanted to change with Marley. You know, he loses his brother in the feature script I wrote. He's constantly losing team members around him, but it's really the story of his change in perspective that's, you know, really going to be the meaningful thing about that series.